Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, Two Blokes Chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
Welcome back to Two Blokes Chatting, 94.7 The Pulse. As I said before the break, we're going to pay respect to an absolute legend of local football who sadly passed away this week, heavily connected to the Newtown Footy Club, but much loved all through Geelong. Len Alford, and a man who knew him better than most, former Newtown president and definitely an icon of that club. Noel O'Dwyer, good morning to you. Hello, Noel.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, got you now. How are you? Now, Noel, you're actually working away this morning very close to us.
Yeah, we looked. And, so we dropped the roof there. We dropped some box cutters, and then we ran a K-Rock now, so we just dropped one there, but we did it a while back. So Saturday morning's a good time to do it because there's no one around.
Well, good. Well, we won't keep you too long from your important business, but every footy club, cricket club, sporting club has legends, has people that are admired and adored around the place. But from your travels in local footy for a long time, there wouldn't be too many more admired characters than the late, great Len Alford.
Mate, he's an institution. He's loved and admired by everybody he comes into contact with. He's unbelievable.
Just to give an indication for people of what contribution he's made to your footy club over what period of time, and it was more than just being a bloke who strapped ankles and rubbed calves and thighs.
Yeah, Len came to the club in 1970, so 51 years ago, and and then been a part of the furniture ever since. I said to Len one day, I said, why are you so loyal to the club? You know, you've been around so long and you're just unbelievable, unwavering. And he said his wife Dawn passed away and left him 3 children under 5, and people from the club came to him and said, Len, till you get yourself back on your feet. He said he must have had a nervous breakdown, and in those days no one knew what a nervous breakdown was, or no one spoke about it, you know. And people from the club just said to him, look, you know, when you get back on your feet, kids are here, you come and see them whenever you want, and go from there. And he said he was a mess for a fair while when Dawn passed away in 1956. He said that when he got himself back on his feet and got his head right and all the rest of it, these kids were there and it kept his family together, and he never ever forgot it and wanted to repay the club for keeping his family together. Just
give us an indication. I know of players that have gone through your football club, and even my own son-in-law who's just recently arrived at the club to coach the reserves, and he was absolutely shattered just knowing the man for a couple of years. What was it about his character that was so magnetic?
Everybody was equal. He just give everybody the same amount of time, whether it was a junior or a senior player or a netballer or a girl, lady footballer or whatever. It just didn't matter. It was, even if you're a helper around the club, he just had time for everybody and a smile for everybody.
And what I've gauged too is it wasn't just the internals of the Newtown and Chillwell Footy Club, but other clubs. And I had an experience I remember vividly. Len was looking after a Newtown junior side at a neutral venue, of which I was involved in a club that was playing the following game. So we were sharing rooms as visitors to the club, and I remember the effort that Len went to make sure that the rooms were in a condition fit and respectful for us, and he went out of his way. That was the first experience I had with him, and I thought, geez, interesting old character. And it wasn't until later I realised who he actually was. So I've sort of seen that experience of how he would go out of his way for anyone. He
was, we'd have a function at the club, and I'd leave at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and think, gee, going to take, got to come back to this and clean it up. I'd get back there at, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning and be spotless because Len's been there at 5 a.m. and got the vacuum cleaner out and the mop out, and the way he went, just did it, and that was before he put the goalpost pads out, and that was before he if he had to mark the lines on the ground or whatever, he was just a machine. But he was, you relied on him. And he never, ever once asked for a thank you or put his hand out or anything like that. He was just a remarkable person.
Yeah, he probably would have been somewhat embarrassed by those type of accolades. And I know that has received some more of those recently, just before he passed away, which I guess as a footy club you're pretty grateful for.
Oh, number one ticket holder after the late great Don Matheson. Len was afforded the number one ticket holder on Monday night, and we took it to him at the hospital and presented it to him at the hospital, and he passed away Tuesday night, being number one ticket holder for the GFL, which is a great award and a great achievement by him.
Now, it's only been a short time since he's passed, so I would imagine that you as a club are probably still trying to find the ideal way to pay a final tribute to him. Have you got any idea of how you might do that?
Well, he's put a few things in place, I can tell you. I suppose he's 85 and he's been around a bit and seen a few funerals and that in his time, but his daughter Gail has been fantastic, and she's passed on his wishes, which we'll follow to as he. And he wants the service at the club, which we'll do. And we'll have a big screen outside, amplifiers. Everybody outside will know exactly what's going on. Inside will be videoed from inside to outside. Weather's going to be perfect. It's going to be about 28 degrees. So COVID safe and all that sort of stuff. So and there'll be a lap of honour of the hearse, and also a line-up of all the players and all that sort of, and all the supporters. Like, I've had that many calls and that many people stopping me and just wishing their condolences to the club and giving me great memories of Len. Everywhere he went, like he helped out St Joey's College for 20 years, their cricket teams and their football teams, and through Dave Breeny and Michael Hines and the boys, he had association with at Newtown that were associated with St Joey's College, and there's friendly rivalry between all clubs. There's no doubt about it. But Leonard, sometimes he'd go to Melbourne and for the cricket team or the footy team, and he'd have the St Joey's colours on and all that sort of stuff. And he'd get back from Melbourne, he wouldn't have time to change. And Jerry Bright, and myself, we'd always go, "Why? How come you got your zipper right up underneath your chin? Why? What are you covering up?" The boys would tell you he's got St Joey's colours on underneath. No, nothing.
Oh dear.
Funny days.
Noel, in circumstances like this, and you've seen plenty where players or officials or volunteers have moved on and the gaps get filled. But how on earth do you start filling these shoes?
Well, it was probably none more evident than last Thursday night. Like I got up to the club about 8 o'clock on Thursday morning, and somebody had already put his chair out the front, which he always sat on, and there was a can of Coke there that he always had, Diet Coke, and his jacket was sitting on the back of the chair. So and then that night, Lenny used to get there about 3:30 before the kids got there. He'd be sitting on the chair, rooms would be all open, everything right to go, football's out, water bottles full and all that. Give him something to do. And Thursday night it didn't happen. The doors were closed and kids waiting out the front, and so everybody's just got to take up the slack and keep Lenny's his legacy going, and that's what it's all about. We've got to make sure that the kids are in a great environment and they're in a safe spot, and we'll find the next Lenny. Won't be as good as Lenny, none of us will be, but we've all got to rise to the occasion.
And ongoing tributes is something that at this particular stage the club committee will sit down and work through. But certainly, I imagine there'd be some sort of trophy or whatever that will be held in his name in future. But this will be a decision that you won't want to rush and want to make sure that it hits the right spot.
Lenny won the Best Clubman Award for 14 years in a row, so they named the Best Clubman the Len Alford Award, So, and the club rooms are named after him. He was given an OAM. We nominated him for an OAM a number of years back. He's got an OAM. He's Red Chicky Award. He's won that. Father of the Year, he won that in Victoria. I think the only award that he probably wasn't eligible for and he's never got was the Brownlow.
Yeah.
He was the fairest and best going around.
He's just an absolute legend. Noel, thank you so much for your time to pay tribute, and we can seriously tell that it's coming from very deep in your heart, the admiration that you represent your club with this morning of this wonderful, wonderful person who will be sadly missed, not only within your club, but I said around the the entire football world in Geelong, that he's just left an extraordinary legacy. So thanks again for your time.
Just also mention that he was president of the Parents Without Partners for 45 years and also was scorer for Emerging Bullock Cricket Club for 17 years. So he spread himself far and wide and just did an amazing job.
Yeah, excellent, mate. We'll be focusing on him Thursday at the Newtown Footy Club.
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday, sorry. What time is that service?
Wednesday, 1:30 at the club.
So any former players or any officials from other clubs that have touched on Len Alford's time, please, it will be a monster event. Hopefully you've got the ability to cater for the crowd.
Well, we've put everything in motion. I mean, we'd love if everybody would wear their club colours, you know, because we've asked everybody at the club to wear their club colours, and, you know, our club colours, I should say, and it'd be fantastic if other clubs come along and they do the same.
Excellent. Good way to finish, Noel. Really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Noel O'Dwyer, Newtown Football Club person, and those sorts of people. And I guess you're only young, Sienna, but if you've been involved in sporting clubs around, there's every club's got one of these legends that does the clean-ups and tidy-ups, and whether they're the trainer or the coach or the timekeeper, that are just part of the fabric of the place.
Yeah, no, I've seen my fair share of some amazing people, just like we've just spoken about with Lenny, like phenomenal, who just do so much and ask for nothing in return. It's amazing. It's definitely something that as a young person you do strive for. Yeah,
it was interesting, Noel, talking about the extra story of him realising what the club had done for him, and he just started a repaying journey which lasted, well, what did he say, 72, so we're talking 28, 48, you're near enough to 50 years of ongoing service to say thank you, Newtown and Chillwell Football Club, for what you did for me, and in the end he's just left this extraordinary legacy.
Yeah, what an amazing man.
Is indeed. So that service, 1:30 next Wednesday at the Newtown and Chillwell Football Club, Elderslie Reserve in Newtown. Please get along, and as Noel said, spread the word, wear your club colours, encourage others who have been influenced by Lenny to plonk theirs on and make it a really colourful day and a fitting day for local footy to pay tribute to a legend.